Weight forward. The first 2 words of the 10 words from Stack and Till. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to talk about the weight forward, why this is so important, how this can help you to have more solid and consistent impact. If I only would have 10 words to teach a person to play golf, I would definitely start with way forward. Start explaining them the importance of why we should have the way forward at setup and why our weight has to be even more forward at P7 when we impact the ball. In a golf shot, when our ball is located at the ground, the low point of our club is not where the ball is, but it is in front of the ball, meaning that we will catch our ball in a downward arc, in an angle of attack where the club is still moving into the ground. This will help us to compress the ball better, and the club will bottom out somewhere behind the ball. It will slightly change with different clubs. As long as the clubs, obviously, our angle of attack will change slightly. But however, even there, the lowest point is always located after the ball. Now, the big majority of the golfers have been taught to shift their weight to the right under the explanation that will help them to increase the distance of their shots, which is definitely not true at all. And the second, what happened is that their impacts start getting worse or coming to a moment where they actually never are able to have a solid impact. For us, for me, making my students understand that we have to try to stay more centered over the ball is a key point. It's an absolute key point in order to have solid impacts. And this is not only for beginners. This is also for more advanced players, which struggle with solid impacts. So, way forward would be, I usually address my ball with a 60-40, 60% weight on the left, 40% on the right. When I talk about weight forward, I do not mean this here. I will not move my higher hub forward. No, I will just simply press my lower hub slightly forward, which actually happens if I position my ball here at B4 and I push my handle forward. I usually try to have my left arm and my shaft lined up in the same line. That will allow me to have that weight slightly forward. Now we come to the most common errors. Obviously, the first one is the shifting to the right with absolutely no extension at all. Left arm travels the shortest. There's no way to get that arm up. The second common error are those golfers who shift the weight to the right by pushing their hips to the right. I have a top 5 list of things you should do to play bad golf, and that is one of those top 5. What we try is to stay centered with the weight on that left leg, and we try to move our tailbone towards the target, but always pivoting about that left leg. The sentence I usually use for my students is knee forward. When they start pushing when they start pushing their knee forward instead of pushing it to the right. That helps them a lot to control more that weight in order not to shift to the right, but also not to move more to the left. I can also not accept a player which increase the weight on the left. That would be moving the higher half forward, and that would definitely not lead to good shots. So exercise you can do if your issue is pushing the hips to the right. You can put an alignment stick, or if you have a chair, you can put a chair here. You can set up with a 60-40, put your chair here, or put an alignment stick there. Try not to move over there. Try to push your knee forward. Try to straighten your right leg so the tailbone can move towards the target, and you will stay more centered over the ball. Now I said 60-40 when I address my ball at P1. I try, if possible, to maintain that 60-40 when my club is at P4. But from here, now that weight has to start moving forward. It will move to 70-30 at P5. It will move to 80-20 at P6. And that impact, it will be 90-10. So meaning that that weight is not only forward at P1. No, once we move towards the ball, that weight will have to gradually start moving forward in order to have solid impact. So, okay, I'm aware, I'm a professional golfer, and however, I rarely practice. However, I still have solid impact without practicing. I'm still able to hit quite often, or I'm able to repeat quite often a solid impact. Obviously, the not practicing doesn't help very much to score, but what I want to say is that you who definitely practice way much more than me, I am sure the weight forward and staying more centered over the ball will help you to have more solid impacts. Let's hit here a few balls with my weight slightly forward. So that was pretty solid. It didn't draw as much as I expected. That one came out a little bit better. That was a little draw I like to hit. But both of those balls were solid impact. And I can repeat that pretty frequently. Now, if I would hit a ball and I would try to ground that club earlier, before the ball, where I would stay with my weight on the right, I would try to shift a little bit to the right and try to bottom out that club before in the ground. Good. Ooh. That was actually pretty good. Well, I went a bit too much to the left. So what I want to say is that I can hit those shots here on the mat because my club cannot go in the mat. This is not turf. So my club bounced away from the mat, but actually what happened is when the club touched the mat, because of the impact of the vibration of the mat, that ball jumped slightly up. And that jumping up of the ball actually helps to have a solid impact. But when you go out on the golf course, that will not happen. If you hit mid-divots out before the ball, those balls will not fly. Those balls will never make those, well, that one made 130 yards, but those balls will never make 130 yards. I'm hitting here an 8-iron. So when you practice, you also have to be aware or be honest enough with yourself to know, to feel that that ball actually, you did not impact first the ball and later the ground, but that you first ground the club on the mat. If you just practice me like that, and you are a superhero on the range, but on the golf course, that will not happen. So, weight forward, 60-40, ball at B4, good. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. Practice that. Try to stay more centered. Put your weight forward at P1. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us a like. See you soon. Goodbye.